And welcome to AES Sports Legacy Channel. Our program, Vivência do Esporte, has in mind to inform, to debate, to promote, to entertain. This program has a talk show format that talks about relevant topics such as education, sport, culture, politics, economy, and so on. To maintain the quality of this show, in this evening, we have in the backstage give a great technical support and give all the information and talking question from our audience, Eder Mota. To present this show with me this evening is Adriano de Souza and Edno de Souza. As always, with the idea of offering the best, this evening would not be different. This evening, you are honored to receive on our AES Sport Legacy channel to participate in a Vivência do Sport program. We have one outstanding professional, former world record holder in the 800 meter, 2 Olympic medals, 3 times world champ, world indoor champ, European champ, and one of the great middle distance runner in the history of track and field. A fantastic human being who has made a difference in the way people see sport and life. It is with a great satisfaction that I introduce to you all Wilson Kipketer. Welcome, Wilson.
Thanks.
Before we start, I would like to remind you to support our channel. Please subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, give that like, that it is very important. Share on your social media network, invite your friends, families, girlfriend, boyfriends, everyone. There is and still have time to watch this wonderful show. Wilson, good evening again. How are you, my friend?
Thank you, Jose. It's good to see you again after, I don't know when you stopped, but then it's good to see you after many years. So I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good. So, hey, it is a great satisfaction. I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to be here with us. Please feel like you're at home. Feel free to speak your mind. And there's no tricking question here. All we want to know information that you're going to educate people. Someone like you have a lot of things to teach us. So welcome and thank you one more time, okay?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
All right.
Good.
Okay, so since I am right here, I'm the first one to start this. Okay, first, the first question I have for you is, I would like to know who is Mr. Wilson Kipketer?
Jose, it's a long story. You know, if I want to tell my name and all these things, it's going to be a long story, but I will cut it short. So okay. My name is Wilson Kipketer, former 800-meter runner, a former world record holder in 800, current world record in indoors for 800 meters, 1:42.67 is still there, 22 years until this day. So the story starts anyway. Say Wilson moved from Denmark, not from Kenya, came to Denmark and be a citizen of Denmark. So Wilson Kipketer is a Danish athlete or Danish citizen, originally from Kenya. So this, and I would say, to be Wilson Kipketer is the sport who brought me from Kenya, going all the way to Denmark, and be the best athlete in the world. So I think sports, and we say now with the social media, so it's going to be really something which is communicating to the world. So the sport really teach me a lot of things, to be disciplined, to be the great athlete in the world, and also creating the friendship, because what I have now with Jose and talking with you guys here, so it's through my sport. So it's still something which is developing. It's developed with you, I would say, the rest of your life. And this really something that gave me such a pleasure, such a joy, bring me happiness, show me the world, open the doors for me, so to travel, meet friends from Brazil, US, all over the world. So I think, so to cut it short, so that's Wilson Kipketer coming from sport and building the name, because I think what make me to be known in the world is sports. So this was something I keep also to my privilege to the young people to say, wherever you do your best. If you want to build your name, make your story. You make it the best you can, wherever you can make it. Maybe it's in music, in writing, in sports, in your personal life, also to be a nice person and to be nice to other people and to build that respect to other people. So I think so this what sports really mean is opening the doors and learning to know yourself. Because you have to achieve something as a person. So you have to learn to respect yourself. You have to learn to accept the challenges, losing, winning, but the wheel must go on. You have to move on no matter what happens. It's not only the results, because you have to carry, the whole yourself, the whole body, the whole generation, the whole friends. So it's not only about winning, it's about staying there and making a stand to say, it's me. It doesn't matter what happened. I have to move. I have to show people I can prove them wrong. I have to show them I can do better. I have to show them I'm smart, I'm thinking well. So this is what really made me who I am today, because of the sport. And really, I want to show that moving from Kenya, going to Denmark, the success is something you can move with it, no matter where you are.
Wilson, this is amazing. So following this, let me ask you a question. Wilson, where and when did you start playing sports?
I started playing sports anyway, when I was in primary school in Kenya. And the way I started playing sport was, in the daytime, so they were busy taking care of the cattle, so working in the garden or going to school. But then in the evening in our village, we used to have a competition when it's a moonlight. And my brother was very smart. I think he was making money with other people to say, you can't beat my young brother. So we used to run at night.
Oh,
So your old brother shall make money with you.
I think my older brother was smart. I think he was making money and betting with other people, and he said, you can't beat my young brother. And then so he's quoting me like, so you have to do this, you have to do it. And I start from there liking the sport. So I started in a primary school because he loved the sport. He was playing football, volleyball, everything. So he was really, I would say, he's a man introduced me to sport. And then when I was a little bit older, so he was knowing where is the competition, and he said, Wilson, tomorrow I'm coming to pick you up. We are going somewhere. We got there, he asked people, he says, so I am my little brother, yeah, he's very good. Can he have a line? And I think he was still making money. So, and I didn't know anything about those things until later he told me, he said, I was enjoying my life, getting my drinks a little bit because of, you did well. But then I started enjoying sport. And then I would say in Kenya, they have a system like, so they have a primary school, secondary school, and colleges. So I had a chance to present the primary school. So I'm beating all the guys in the high school and the colleges. And then from there, so I went myself to high school. So also I continued to present the high school. Of course, after high school, so I came to Denmark, so I didn't continue with the system in Kenya. So from there, I started in Kenya really enjoying sport, and then I was also playing football, decathlon sometimes, try to run 1500, jump all falls. So it didn't work that well, anyway. But that was the moment of my brother introducing me to a night run in the evening after, so nobody was disturbing me. My father was not getting upset because of I didn't take care of the cows and So we do it at night, and it was enjoyable. Every month, when the moon was really shining, we're out there running, as long as it's not raining.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Wilson, this is awesome to understand, especially when you said that you were born and start practicing sports in Kenya. We have so many ideas, especially the Latin America and North America, including the whole Caribbean. They don't know too much about Kenya. And to move forward step by step, we would like to know when you start to playing sports, what were the sports events available in your birth country, right there in Kenya? What kind of sports you had, or you still have available for other kids to practice in Kenya?
Oh, in primary school, like, so we had seasons, like, so there's a football season, and then there's athletic season, and then there's cross country season.
Oh,
Which was really, I would say, smart. So we have a period of football players. So also we play football. So we were like, anyway, multi sports people. We are talent in everything. We play football, we play volleyball, we do running, we do the cross country. So all kind of sports was available for the kids to enjoy.
oh,
Of course, the challenge was the resources and the materials, because sometimes we have one hall for almost 600 kids in school.
Oh,
So to be selected to be playing the game also was it was a challenge. You have to be really good to show that you can manage to present for the school. And then running was more open because everybody could run, so it's not about playing with the ball or they need 11 people to play. You could run, and then if you can come in front, hey. So that time was not about the time, it was about the winner. You win, you're in line. They say the top three. It's not say, okay, you run with the time, or no, it's you just run, you are the winner, even if it's 100 kids, they have no space, they are falling down, maybe they are talent, but if you are in front, all things okay.
well, this is so interesting what you were saying, because in the primary school, you have a lot of kids practicing sports since the beginning. Am I correct?
Yes.
Well, and this is what we can see right now, because if you have a lot of runners, it means that years before they started at the school, at the primary school. Is that correct?
And also,
That's correct.
and also they have a program, right?
And you,
I would say, when they start in the school, so it's like, so they select a team for the school first. You present your school.
right.
And then you go to compete with other schools. So they select a pace from those two schools. And then those two schools go to compete with other schools and they select a pace. So if you're the best, you can go up to the national level.
Yes.
So they are selecting every time. It's like, so you have until a district level, they select the people presenting the district.
Yeah, but you mean that to get in professional level, you have to follow a school sports program to get there. All the time is in the school, right?
All the time in school, and then also what happened there so was companies like post office, railway, and many other things. So they select also if you are good in running. So some people, they could not afford to go to high school, so they use them. So you go to run for the company, and then so you get a job, like, so you are working for them, but you are running for them. And also the military. So the military also
oh,
was,
so a company like post office, like any company get you for run for them as
As
the same
employee.
time you're working for
as
them as well.
employee. So they employ you, you get a job as anyway. So they will teach you to do some technical work, but then the idea was anyway to run, so to make the company be on top of the competition also in Kenya, because they had a system of the companies competing in their own side, and then they have the military, they have the police. So it was at least also the police also was looking for the people coming from the sometimes primary school, the colleges, and also the high school. So they get them to go to the to be part of the promoting their I would say, the initiative of sport in their own departments.
This sounds so huge because nobody understands why Kenya has every single year a lot of runners, and we don't have too much right now on the spot like a soccer player yet. I mean, yet on the spot, because for sure we have, because so many countries in Africa right now, they are so wonderful in the soccer as well. And this is so important because you said you have a system that in Japan they call semi-pro, because you work for the company, but at the same time you compete for the company.
Yeah.
This is something that we can do probably in a large country like Brazil, because we don't have this implemented in this country. And this, what you were saying right now, is a really gold tip for all of the people, not only in Brazil, but in Latin America as well, and maybe and for many other countries in Africa.
So this was really, I mean, I would say this was the basic or fundamental idea of having the school competition all the time. And that's why they produce every year, because they start from the young age to learn how to compete, to present the school. And this was, it's almost like in Brazil with footballers anyway, because, I mean, you see, of course, they have many clubs and people they are playing in the pitch, and they have a lot of talents. And sometimes it's not easy for the clubs to identify all the talents, because at least if there was a military football club, maybe there's a post office football club, maybe there's a railway football club. So this could give also like, so in that could create a lot of clubs in one country.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Well, that's nice. So, Wilson, my question to you was, if you can tell our audience the importance of sport in your country, in Kenya, how important the sport in Kenya it was for you when you grew up there, or it is important in Kenya. Can you give you a little talk about that?
Yeah, of course. I think, yeah. So to put it anyway in an easy way, everyone can understand. I think so. You know, I mean, running, like I said, so it's been like my ticket to pay for me to come to Europe, because I would say in 1988, I went to a World Junior in Sudbury, Canada. I was disqualified. I won my heat, but then I stepped on the line. I was disqualified. In 1990, so I was in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. I was number 4. So from that time, so I could see the sports could change my life. You know, this was like, anyway, I could see being home and try to finish the school. Was a little bit struggling with the school fees and all this. So I say, so if I ran well, so I was thinking anyway to go to US if I could have a scholarship. But then when I came to Denmark, so I could see the freedom of being independent and train alone than going to have a scholarship and then run for the college. So which is also is not going to be more free. I can do wherever I want. I can do my studies without no one pushing me. And looking back in the old athletes they were running in Kenya, like Kipketer Revela and other Mike Boyd. So these people, of course, they had an education and they had better life, and they earned some living and the name from doing the sport. So it was also, I say, so, you know, in this side, maybe I cannot manage to build my name in going to class and try to get a job to work to live in Kenya. But if I can understand about running, if I can understand to use the resources I have to make better life for myself. And I see some other people also in Kenya, they were running, they were earning money, and their life was getting better. So this was also another opportunity of say, okay, if you can run and make money, if you can be a world champion and make money. So this was something I understood from that moment, because I was struggling with the school fees, struggling with all things in the environment. So this was like my getaway route to get a ticket. So where I am now is because of the sports. So I start one. Yeah.
All of us.
So I understood that and said, so to take the opportunity of doing the sport and make something, which is that what I was talking again about, the respecting yourself and building your own way. So the sports really changed my way of thinking, changed my way of seeing sports. Not only is a sport, I see the sport as a business, it's a job, it's my life. It's in my DNA, it's in my blood. So and that's why I say, okay, so if I have this thing in myself, how can I make it bigger? The world can see my talent. And that was the moment. So it tricked me to say, okay, sports, I've seen they are changing other people's life. I've seen even in high school. So when I was seeing Kalu is in the newspaper in front of magazine, so I was thinking, oh, it's one day I can be in front of the newspaper. Oh. So that was things which is tricked me to say, okay, even running and being a champion, you can be in the newspaper, because I think if I was sitting at home and going to school, I could not see myself being in front of the newspaper. I cannot see myself being interviewed with other people. I cannot see myself traveling overseas to meet other friends. So that was, I would see the sport could change the life, and I would see many athletes. I think, even Billy Conchella, you run with him. Also, and that's all those people. And I knew even Peter Rono when he won the Olympic in 88 in 1500. And Peter Rono was in the high school, the same high school as me. And that was the moment I said, okay, if Peter Rono can be an Olympic champion and he sleep in the same dormitory I'm sleeping, he eat the same food I'm eating in school. So that was also get another motivation to see the sport really can change people's life.
That's right.
It can change my life. Yeah.
Wow.
We can see the motivation, we can see the challenge, we can see the grind. And Wilson, we all know that you born in Kenya into the Nandi tribe. Can you tell us how was your lifestyle growing up in Kenya before you leave the country to Denmark?
I would say it was really very simple in a way, because being in the village and being I would say the culture and the mentality of the environment, so to be in that place, so you have to be part of the community. It was a simple life, waking up every morning. You have to, either you go to farm, you go to school, come home, you have to take care of the cows, you go take them to the river to drink water, bring them back, milking sometimes. So it was really a simple life of just being with the family in the village and my friends in the village. We play football in the daytime, and then in the evening we do our running. So it was really, I would say, not really thinking about too much outside, because everything was there. I have my friends, I have my family. I can go and get a maize and roast the maize around the fire, sit in the firewood and listen to stories from the older people in the evening. So that was really, I would say, getting really good life. Like I think in Brazil, that with the Indian indigenous people, how they lived the normal life. So my life was like that, making the fireplace in the evening in the outside and sitting with the older people so they could tell the stories and what has seen happening about the animals. So that was kind of like you learn about the nature, you learn how to survive, and this you learn how to listen to protect yourself. So there was all kind of many things. It's like the skills of survival.
Wow, that's great.
This is awesome to listen what you were saying, because it's a kind of culture that we black people from Brazil, we lost from our ancestors, because for sure they brought this, even with the slavery period. But we had this because sometimes we've heard, and you were saying that how important is to be in your family, in touch with your family, doing everything that you're doing together. And I think that this is so huge, because my question for you now is, you already told us you have your older brother that he was your first agent. Am I correct? He was your first agent.
Yeah.
But do you have any brothers and sisters that were athletes as well, just like you?
No, in my family, I think I was the only one break the tradition of the family. There's no one, but I don't know. Maybe in the older in the family line, maybe there is someone behind which they could be a good talent there, but then they didn't show their talent because there were no sports for them in those periods.
Wow.
But in those days, so people, they could walk many kilometers. You know, I say it was no transport, and if you work in the forest, so you need to walk many kilometers. So people, they were really fit and strong by itself. So this was the skills of, I say, you know, the value of life. So you get it from the older people, and showing you the way, saying, you know, for us to live for these many years. So these are the things you have to respect. This is the route you have to go. These are the steps you have to take. So you don't take too much steps, and then you lose your balance. And that was the things I say. So even if my brother was a little bit cheating me in a way, but then he showed me the way to say that, you know, I mean, you can run.
Right.
Instead of saying, oh, we cannot go there, you cannot get this line, but then he was smart enough. Even wherever we go, and if there's a competition, he can make me to run in the event as a guest. You know, he was really serious on it. You know, he was going there and ask the people, you know, I have my brother here, and he's the best one. I want him to challenge your athletes. And then that was something smart. And then looking back with my grandfather, so you could walk almost, I would say, almost 200 kilometers, because he was working for the white people. So he was a messenger. And there's no roads. So you have to go sometimes at night. So I don't know if he was running in those periods, because
Wow.
this is what he was telling me. So I don't know if he was running. Sometimes he have to sleep up in the tree because of a lot of animal and snakes on the ground. So you have to sleep on the tree. The next day you have to move. So for him, he says, so it took him 2 days to arrive there. But then now when I'm driving the car and try to measure the kilometers, it's 250. So I say, how can this take him 2 days to arrive there? You know, it could take at least maybe 4 days, 1 week. Wow. But then he say he make it in 2 days, but I don't know if he was cutting shortcut because of the forest. So in that period, I don't know if there is someone could be really a talent. My brother, I say, so he was talent in almost in all sports. He could play football, he could play volleyball, he could run, because he was running 1500 for the school for a certain period before he left the school. He left the school in 7th grade in primary school, but he was running in that period. He was like the best athlete for the district.
But he was smart for the money, right?
He was smart, but the other side. And that's why he didn't want to run himself.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Wilson, all a nice story, all a nice lesson you given to us here. Life, about life. This is fantastic. Wilson, throughout of track and field history, Kenya has been producing many great athletes. Can you tell our viewers if this great Kenyan athlete do help to improve Kenya citizen lives after they finish their career? I want to know what when Kenyan athlete done with their career, when they finish their career, what they do to improve Kenya citizen life back in Kenya. Do you know any history of those that they have been doing that and helping that?
I think in a way, so I have to put it in a way, maybe I will try to make it in 3 phases, which I would say I will take one, which I would say in my side, and some people I know, like Patrick Sang, if you know Patrick Sang.
Patrick Sang,
yeah. So Patrick Sang is one of the person trying to change the image of Kenya because of coaching now with Eliud Kipchoge, and he has been
yes.
he has been promoting so many athletes, helping them. I would say to finish their education in a way, put them in school even if they are running, to say so don't go too much for the money side, but also you need to have something. If something happens, you have something where you can go back to. So he has been advising a lot of athletes. Mike Poit, so he's a professor of sport, and he was a commission. Mike Poit, so he was working in the Kenyatta University. So even Mike Poit, before I came to Denmark, he was the one anyway giving me a letter. So I went to him and I say, Mike, you know, I got this opportunity, I have to go out. So he says, so what do you need? So I say, so I need a letter from the Ministry of Sports and all this. And he said, Wilson, that's not a problem, you know. So he drafted a letter, he gave me the letter, I got a chance to come out. So there is a lot of people there, you know, Ibrahim Hussein. So he's also a part of developing the new coaches in Nairobi. So he's part of that development program for coaching coaches in Nairobi. And then Billy Conchela, so he's working with the group of the Maasai people in this area. And all those people, so they are back in sports. Yeah. So all those people, they are back in sport, trying to build up, let's say, the new way of the young generation could think, and the new way they could sell themselves now, because everything is changing. Not like in our days, someone have to manage you. These athletes also have to manage themselves. So they are getting that more like knowledge of being more independent than depending on someone else.
Yeah.
So such a thing is happening. So the other part of it, so now things have changed because we have the agents, we have other people. Now it's business. So we have the group of people looking only to make money, you know, so they don't care what happened with the athletes after finishing their running. So this something else came in now. So be like some athletes, they compete because they want money, but they are not thinking about the long term. I would say the long term investment. So this one is a short term investment. You can come run 2-3 races and you go home, but then the money you made in those, let's say, 3 years is not enough to sustain you for another longer period, for maybe another 20 years or maybe 50 years.
Wow.
But
so impressive.
But the people now, they are there now, so they are trying to show them that, to say, so even the shorter period you have, even if it's 1 year or 2 years, so you try to invest this money very wise, which can maintain you for a longer period. Because this, you cannot stop tomorrow and then you say, I have to go back to do the job in a, maybe go to military or wherever. It's not going to be easy. Like when you have a freedom, people paying the ticket for you, you being in the hotel, you meeting other people. This you have now to be on duty, which is also not going to be easy mentally for some athletes. So, and the third one, so many athletes, you know, not so many, but some, they make this money and then they enjoy life. And then after that, so they are not running well, they have no money, so they live like their life is not that good, you know, it's not pleasant life because they start drinking. It's like more depressing, and that's so that's the sad side of it. But there's so many people working to help that. Even Kipchoge Keino, so now you have schools, you have an orphanage center helping the orphanage kids, and you have also a big stadium now. Like, so they name it like 2 stadiums in Kenya under Kipchoge Keino's name. So those people, so it's like now they are the face of the Kenya. Even Kipchoge Keino is still like well known in the world after 68 and all this. And then we have Paul Tergat, he was a marathon runner. Now he's in a IOC member and and he's NOC president. Paul Tergat.
Oh, Portugal. Yeah. That's the one I want to be. He run many times in Brazil. Yeah, he's a member of the IOC. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's those people now really trying to make something a face of Kenya to be really to promote the country and to promote the athletes and to promote the sports.
Wow.
That's fantastic. You know what? When you just, I want to give a little, a little information. When I arrived here in America, uh, Ray Ronald shoot to run. He run in Eugene, Oregon, and he used at that time he used to be the world record holder for the 10K and 5K, 3,000 steeplechase. And then growing up here in America at that period of time, and Luis is my coach, Luis Oliveira, and then one day uh, they told me and Cruz at that period of time, and Guimarães, which is younger, that he was in depression, he would start drinking, he has to have some problem, have difficulty, he didn't finish his degree. It was very hard for him because of that situation, because Ronald, it was a guy in 78, 79, did outstanding, great thing. And then after 5 years later, or 6 years later, he was in a situation extremely difficult. Like people said, he threw money away, and at that time, he makes some money here in America. It was cheap to live a good life in Kenya, but then he struggled a long period of time to put his life together. This is a perfect example.
Yeah, so that's the problem of because the moment you come up, so many people want to help you, and then again building that line, people to be connected with their roots, people connected with their family. So
Exactly.
so you have that protection. But the moment you go outside of that line, so you see other things, and then you enjoy life, and because Henry Rono come from my village. I know where he comes from.
He's
Sometimes
a
I see
non.
the family, but now he's back in Kenya now. So he's back to his family, which is he's doing well. So it's good to see that these things are going well. So that's sometimes because they stay with the managers, and I say again, the managers is like some they want to squeeze like the lemon, and then if there's nothing left, they throw it out. And that's again, if they don't have a proper guideline, so they can get lost in that period and get more depression because the money is not coming. They didn't invest the money. Because I think during Henry Ronald's time, they were paying cash. You get cash even if you go to any competition. They were not opening the account to say, so we send money to the account. After the race, they count it, put on the table, you put them in their pocket, and you go. And that was also, I think, now it's much better because no one is walking around with the cash anymore.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Great to know you're doing good, and great to know. Hey, I trained with Mike Boyd back in Eugene, Oregon. Mike Boyd trained with Luis, and Luis he worked hard. And one thing that I never see someone so a gentleman, someone so well educated, kind, like Mike Boyd. Mike Boyd, you were training at that time. I was a young kid. He kept telling me a lot of advice. He was here in America, get his doctorate. He's doing his PhD in Eugene. He was training with Luis, and he decided to come back because he see this group of athletes, me and Cruz and Guimarães, a lot of good athletes, and Luis liked him a lot, and they were talking together, and he decided to come back training. And he ran almost his PR at age 39. He ran 3:33. 72 or 6 something. His PR was like 3:32, 40, somewhere right there. He almost did a PR. And he praised Luis a lot, and he was very nice to us. And I have picture with him until today. When I tell that I know Mike Boyd to any Kenya, they are get bright, sparkling. Whoa, Mike Boyd. So many respect he has. I mean, I respect Mike Boyd a lot.
No, he's a good man. He's a good man.
It's not only in your country, it's not only in your sport, but even here in the United States, you see a lot of athletes, they struggle with the money situation because the thing is nobody teach you how to deal with money. This kind of education would be important if you have when you are young. If you don't have this kind of instruction, this kind of education is really hard because you don't know the good things of life. When you start getting money and then you knew, oh, I can do this, I can do that. So it's very easy to enjoy the life. And
And get
this
distracted.
is really tough situation how to deal with. It's really tough.
So many athletes are doing that, but now it's like, so they are getting to understand really, because I mean, I think so many athletes now, even they are seeing me, because they say, oh, how did you do it? You know, how did you make your life living there? So I had to tell my life. I say, so I was in Denmark for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make $1. And they say, how did you survive? You know, I mean, the club was paying for my apartment. The club was giving me for food. So I had to go to school, waking up in the morning. So my first money I got was $300.
Wow.
And then the manager have to take 15%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the manager say, oh, I pay for the ticket. I have you have to pay for the ticket. So I end up having only $50 in my pocket.
Wow.
And that was the moment I started thinking, okay, I think maybe I misunderstood about running.
Uh-huh.
And that's also, again, is the tricky part of making the athletes to understand that and to be independent and to know this business. It's not really about running and making money.
Yeah.
Because you cannot make money if you go out there running without a name, without winning the race. You know, and this is something which is missing also for many athletes. They say, I go out there, I'm training well, but they have to know to say, okay, if I'm training, what am I training for?
Yeah. Yep.
If I want to run, what am I running for? So they're missing all those questions for so many athletes, even up to now. Because you say, if I can run, I can make money. But of course, you can work in the office and you can make money. You can be a teacher and you can make money. But that's something which is missing for so many young athletes, even also for the young generation, because they see now maybe Jose is in California, he's doing his job there. So they say, if I can run, I can go to US. But then you cannot run from Brazil and then go to US. There is a process you need to follow, you know, step by step. And this, if we can teach that to the young generation to see that, so they understand. Before you say, I want to run, you have to know why are you running.
Yes.
If you want to make money, why you want to make money?
Yes.
So, and that could be really something which is worth for each athlete or each person in his life. When you are waking up in the morning, I have to make a change. Wow. And that's the moment things can change a trick in their heads.
Those small questions are very important.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson, I don't know how much do you know about Brazil, but how do you see Brazil today compared to the period, the time that you compete against Brazil?
I think the time I competed against Jose, of course, I didn't compete against Joachim Cruz. I think he stopped before I came in running. So I think in those days, I would say, so maybe running was still a little bit different for Brazil, because you don't see many Brazilians being there in 800 or maybe in other events in a World Championship or in Olympic. You know, that's like something, there is a gap between the time of Jose and what is there now. And that's something you say, I don't know, because of the system change in Brazil. Maybe it's not like in old days, I don't know. But I know a bit Brazil because I was there in Rio, during Olympic period. So I took a little bit, 3 weeks tour in Brazil, being in, so which was really nice. So, but talking about Brazil, so I didn't know that much about Brazil in those times because I came from far away. It was far away from Kenya, coming to here, and then also to think from here to Brazil, because the name Brazil, you know what I mean, so you could make connection with football players like Pelé. In those periods, he was there. Ronaldo, and the rest. So this like, so if you say Brazil, you know, you cannot say Brazil is about not about athletics, not track and field.
Yes.
Brazil is football.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
This is really sad, but it's real.
Yeah.
So that's you know, I mean, talking about Kenya is like, so when Kipchoge Keino won the Olympic in '68, so I think those people, they branded the name of these people, they are runners, and even they changed the mentality of the young generation. They want to be like Kipchoge Keino. When Pele was playing, so each Brazilian at home, they want to be like him because they could be seen in television. Again, that was talking about, seeing someone in the newspaper. So that's where you want to go because the media is in that side. You want to be there with where there is attention. You don't want to be somewhere which is no one can see you. You have to be in the spotlight. And Brazil, so it's a spotlight in, I would say now, maybe coffee, Brazilian coffee, and the football.
Well, what you
Right.
were saying is so interesting because I don't know if you know this history, but Pele was invited to be how do I say, not a congressman, but a minister in Brazil to serve the sports. And the president of Brazil in that time, Fernando Henrique Cardoso, he went to a trip in England, but he brought Pelé with him. Arriving there at that time, the Queen Elizabeth II said, "Oh, I want to hang his hand," but he left the president away, and he felt so jealousy at the time. And it's so interesting because he was most important than the president of Brazil, and he felt so jealousy. And you were saying, how many people in Brazil grew up in seeing the image to say, "Hey, I want to be like Pelé"?
So that's the thing. Is like now it's branded that thing because I think maybe when Jose was running, maybe it was not even in the Brazilian newspaper in front page. So
No.
And that's another thing I say. So the way we have to work now is really how can we make running to be popular?
Yes.
So maybe the only way to do is to make it, to push it, to be in the newspapers, to be a national sports. Because I'm here in Denmark, I'm running well. I was running well in 1997. I was the athlete of the year, almost I would say sportsman of the year in all newspaper. But then here in Denmark at home, I didn't even win a trophy because there were a handful of women and they won their championship. So they were on top, I was second. So, but this again is the tradition and what people, they knew it from that moment. Even football is still number one in Denmark. So about running is nobody knows. I mean, it's all over the world because if you look at Germany, France, even England, so there's people breaking records, except Jamaica, which was in Poland, many runners there. So running in Jamaica is number one.
Yes.
Talking again about the system in schools, if you have a chance to go what they call a boys and girls championship in Jamaica, you will see really that's why the Jamaican are really good in sports because the schools themselves and the colleges, when they have this, so it's really a big party. It's forget about World Cup or whatever. That's the moment you go is the kids are cheering, music, you name it. I was there in 4 years ago, and I was say, okay, I understand. Maybe I chose the wrong country. I could go to Jamaica.
No.
Well, Jamaica is good. Jamaica is good.
Okay, and Wilson, that start in 1985 with Donald Quare. At that time, Jamaica have only Marlene Otte, Grace Jackson, Bert Cameron. They have 3-4 athletes.
That was.
We're talking 85. Those athletes was a good athlete, but the sport there, track and field, it wasn't that big. It was nothing because a lot of that guy in the power, they used to use those athletes to gain political position in the Caribbean, in Central America. So Donald Quare get some other athletes there, and they start a movement to make the change and make the sport, like you said, to push it to the sport to be popular. So they start going there on school, and today, like you said, You are running with sprint in Jamaica. You want to be a collegiate or high school national champion. It's like win a championship at soccer in Brazil
Yeah.
or in Denmark. But
So
that's it.
that's I think that's maybe the only way to go. I mean, US now. If you see the US with the colleges competition, now the kids are running because you have to win for your college. I mean, it's more important than winning an Olympic, and that's where the talents comes all the time because they are doing it for the school. They are not doing it like to be the best outside of that, but they are doing it for the school.
Yep.
And these could be things. I mean, I know it's not easy in Brazil. It's a big country. Kenya now is losing a little bit because of we have so many managers and they start some clubs. So the kids now in school, so they don't want to run anymore like they used to, because now the only people in the clubs, that's the one that they can go outside. So there's no chance for going through the school system, and that's Kenya is losing it now. As if you see it, the way, of course, there's other people like me. They have been moving out. Bernard Lagat in US. There was some other athletes running for Paris in Qatar. So there's so many people they have gone out because the system is collapsed in Kenya and not supporting the athlete in their long term. Of course, there's a lot of athletes. I think so. Even the government cannot afford to support them in a way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's so impressive what you were saying, because the question that I have to you now is just to understand when you realized that 800 meters would be your event.
Oh, I think I did a lot of, I would say a lot of homework in a way, because in primary school, I was running 400 meters, 400 meters hurdles, 1500, 800. I didn't go further than that. So choosing from this, so I think the 800 was the one I was more comfortable with. There was no one challenging me even in primary school.
Oh.
So it's like, so I understood to run 800 than to run other events.
Oh, you were smart. You were smart.
All right. All right.
I remember we were in so I would say provincial, not really to select a team to go to national. And I was number 3 in 400s. And I was number 2 in 400 meters hurdles. But I was number 1 in 800s. So I decided to say, no, I'm not going to do anything else, but I will stick with 800. Oh. And then when I came to Denmark, so of course, the standard of running in Denmark was not very high, so I could win from, again, 400, 800 until 1500. Oh. But still, I found 800 was more comfortable. It was not too long, not too short. So again, in between.
But it's hard.
But it's not the easy one. And then when I started...
I know what I'm talking about.
And then when I start running, so I look at that period I was running, so there was Isham El Krouj from Morocco. Oh. So he was running, Isham El Krouj from Morocco, and Morselli from Algeria.
Yeah, Morselli, yeah, Nordin Morselli.
And Femin Cacho. So these people, they were really running 1500. They want to run, if I had to run there, I need to run 326 or 327, which I think I could not do it.
Oh. I got you.
So I look at 800 and I say, okay, if I can run 144, I can still be on top 5. Mm-hmm. And then from that period, I understood the 800. So this is the thing I said, I understood the 800. And it was really the most exciting event to run. And I enjoyed every time running because I found it very easy in a way, but then the training was not easy, but running.
No, I know. Hey, in my time, you talking about have Nordin Morselli, Firmino Cacho. In my time, I have Cruz, Conchella, I have John Gray, Sebastian Coe, Steve Cramp, Abdi Billy, Said Awita, Nick Kiprotich, Willie Kiptanui, I mean, wherever you go, you get someone, either in the 1500 or the 800. So I just stuck on the 800 and said, you know what? I got to do the best I can here.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of choice like you. You have a group of athletes in the 15, but in the 800, I have, man, it was worldwide.
Was like, yeah. No,
Even
it
in
was
Brazil,
not.
Either you are.
even
was
in
not
Brazil,
in that period.
even in Brazil, you had two.
Yeah,
It was only the two in Brazil.
yeah.
Even in
Me,
Brazil, they
yeah.
already had two.
Cruz and Guimarães. Okay, why was put hard? Now,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Most of the athletes in the world choose to come to United States to study, to practice sport as well. My question is, why did you choose Denmark to do your exchange program and study?
But I would
You
say,
understand my question?
yeah, I got it. The thing is, when I came to Denmark, so this was like, I was taking this as the past step to see if I can go to US. Of course, I got an offer from UCLA, with
UCLA.
class group in
Bob
the
Kersey.
Santa Monica track with John Gray and the group.
Okay.
So I got an offer to go to UCLA, but I say, so before I go to the other side, I got this opportunity in Denmark, and I said, let me go and see how Denmark look like, because everybody has been going to US. And I know in that period also was like, I would say more congested with so many athletes from Kenya. And now, again, knowing the stories of getting the scholarship, so you have to stick to the college for 4 years and run for the college, which again, you cannot turn to run a professional. So when I came to Denmark, I said, so why not? Let me give 1 year to try. And then after 1 year, I see, okay, I was winning all the smaller meets. Try to learn the language. It was not easy. I say, oh, maybe I have to go to US. And then I say again, I come back to my question again. If I'm going to US, what am I going to do? Which I cannot do in Denmark. I came from Kenya. I said, maybe I want my life to be better in Denmark. So when I'm here, I want to run away again from where I am before I see what is good for me in this country. And then from that period, so I was trying to find myself, navigating the weather, the language, the culture, the mentality, which was not easy. But it wasn't easier for me because I was the only one. If I go somewhere else, I say, so I understand the language. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of competition. And if I want to run in Olympic, I have to go back to trials in Kenya, which is also, to make a team was like lottery, is you make it or you don't make it. There's a lot of other people. In this time, so it was really difficult for me to move on, but then I had to decide to see what is good for me. So I had to find out really to say, before I move to US, I want to find out what is good in this country. And I say, so to make something good is to build my own history, to be the first person to run for a Nordic country in Scandinavia or Denmark, for example, instead of moving to US, which is everything is could be easier, and there's a lot of athletes that's been going there. So I decided to make a unique story of my life, to make a different story. When again people they can focus on it. But that's what I was saying. You need to stand where you are, and people they can learn who you are, where you are. Because my story today, Wilson Kipketer, is also because of moving to Denmark. No one has been moving to run for the Nordic country. Then everybody say in US. So that could be, and they have a lot of good runners in US, so that could not make a difference for me to be in US because, yeah.
Your brother were your agent, but you were smarter than him.
From the point of view, I agree with you because you're in Denmark. a lot of people at that time question why you went to Denmark. They say it's cold and everybody want to say the weather, but people didn't follow what you said. Now it makes sense, totally makes sense, because of course you in Denmark, in a way, me and Cruz here, like you said, you have to have the competition, even college. The competition is hard. We improve in America. The competition, of course, that's the reason also back in my time, you didn't change to be American citizen. At that time, they want to ask to be American citizen, but at that time, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, don't allow you to become American citizen unless you lose 2 Olympics, 8 years. So you got to wait. That happened with Sidney Marie from South Africa. Sidney Marie, great 1500 meter. He lost a great part of his life track and field because in his case was very hard because South Africa was banned. So he was going to wait anyhow. So he decided to become American and wait for 8 years to try to run for America as a Olympic game, because otherwise through South Africa he couldn't do it. In my case, and Cruz, we don't need to do that. You just stay here in America, training, competing, and run for our country. But in your case, going to Denmark and make you outstanding, make you to in your plans and your goals. Okay, here I can focus, here I can stay put. Here I will manage a lot of things that in the other country I might have to manage more. So I agree. It's a very smart move. Now I understand your move. It's cool.
Because for me, was like everyone want to help, and they say it's easier to go this way. But I say, if I cannot make decision what is easier for me, so no one else can say, Wilson, this one is easier. So and I didn't want to take the easy way. Otherwise, I will not learn. So I say, so I better take the hard way, and it's my decision. I paid the price. But in that case, so I say, so UCLA was really almost offering me, and I say, so what am I getting if I go there? So you say you get a scholarship, and then so again, so in my life I was trying to survive. I need to make money. I need to make my education. But if I get a scholarship, or it's a scholarship, I get something on top of that. No, you get full scholarship. And what does that mean? So it was a little bit kind of you say, so you get to go to school, you run for the college and all this, and then if you are saying I get scholarship, so it's something which I have to get it and put it in my pocket and I use it. But then if I get something which I'm not owning it, so that's not I need to own my life. I need to be independent.
Yes.
And that was something which is tricked me a little bit to say, so you get full scholarship, but then I didn't get full explanation what it means, full scholarship. And that's but anyway, so running in Denmark. So in the process of me running a little bit, so there was some people say, okay, why don't you apply to be a citizen of Denmark? And I said, so why not? So I just saw some papers, or sign it, and just send it in. Just I didn't want even know to think about it. So why not? I signed it. I sent in. And then after some few years, so they say, okay, so your papers has been reviewed, it's under process. So I said, so okay, so why not? And then in 1995 World Championship, so Nipiolo, the former the president of Primo Nipiolo. So he said, if you have been in the country for more than 3 years, you can compete for that country. Oh, and that was a World Championship in Gothenburg. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was there.
Yeah, I got a chance. I won there. I won the medal. And I thought, so winning a medal, this was going to give me a chance to be in Atlanta. But then it didn't work that way too. So things turned upside down after the gold medal. They say, okay, let's look at your papers. You are not a full citizen yet of the country because you have not got a passport. I still are using the Kenyan passport. Kenya say, okay, you can come back and compete for us. Denmark say, okay, if you go out, so you have been in the country for 5 years, you still have 2 years, so you can be granted a citizenship of this country. So I had again to do the calculation. Okay, throw away 5 years and start from zero, or just leave Olympic and concentrate on what I can get. So again, so I had to decide. I think my life is more important than Olympic. So I have to kiss bye-bye Atlanta and wait for another 2 years to get my passport to be a citizen of Denmark.
Well,
so it's a tough choices you have to do sometimes to reach where you are going.
but what you are saying is the typical situation that nobody wants to be, because all the time you had a tough situation to decide something, to take one decision, this situation or this situation. No one was the best one, but what were tough for you, and you had to decide. I think that this is the critical situation that nobody wants to be in the position to take a decision. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. But this I saying again, you know, is to teach people to be independent, to make your own decision. You know, it's not based on what people think is right. It's what you think what is right.
Exactly. You got
Yeah.
it. This is the wisdom, not the only learned, but the wisdom.
So that was the moment I say, the moment I move here, I decide I want to be in this country. Even people say, so okay. The other option here, it was for me to get married and get a quick citizenship. But which again I say, no, I don't want to get myself into trouble to marry someone. Maybe I don't love her, or maybe she don't love me, just to get the papers, and then I will be in trouble later. I want to be as clean as I am. I'm moving forward. Nobody is going to stop me to say, Wilson, I did this for you. I will say, Mr. Kipketer, you did this for yourself. And I can take that. I accept that. It's me. And that was my way of moving forward with making all decisions, making mistakes. Still, I'm not regretting because I paid the price. I enjoy it.
Well, you can sing the song, I am the Mr. Independent. There's a song, Miss Independent, but you are the Mr. Independent. This is awesome. But you won and you lost by yourself, not for anyone else.
Yeah, but I lost this margin. This is what again doing the calculation.
Exactly.
Because I was telling someone one day, you know, if you are 99% right, so you cannot say you lose because you lose 1%. You're still a winner because you have 99%.
Right.
1% it doesn't mean that much.
Well,
And that's the thing I was trying even now to teach so many people to think logic and to see the realistic way, not to think it's easier. And then what can happen afterwards? You need to ask the question, are you ready to take the risk? And
yes.
And the risk can be anyway in the either ways. Even if you say you don't want to take the risk, it can be also a bad for you because it's a risk in both ways. It goes in two directions. To go the right way, so you have to say, so what if something happened? What can I do? And if you stay, what if something can happen? So you are in that between, you better say, okay, I choose one side. If it's a loser side, I'm okay with it. If it's a winner side, I'm okay with it. So that's the choice we have to make in our life sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
It's choosing, it's making decisions.
yes,
Yeah.
this is the only way to live a life. But Wilson, we participate in a great panel promoted by Lewis Johnson, that you know him. And right there, we have Bob Beeman, Jack Doyne Kersey, Ronaldo Niemai, and many others. One day, what a journalist from Switzerland, he told us something curious. And this is the reason we have the question for you. Because he gave an information in this panel that Barbosa, that we are talking now, giving you some advice how to run a great 800 meters. He said it was about 1992, 1993. We are not sure correct. Do you remember this episode? Can you explain us what kind of advice he gave to you in that time?
I think when we met anyway, and he said, so I don't know if he's Zurich himself or he was in Stockholm. I can't remember. But then we met really in the corner, and he said, so, I see you are running well. But if you want to win the race, this is how to win it. And that was a say so to run in front. But then in the beginning, so I didn't want to run in front because I was feeling the confidence when I came from behind. So I was chasing to win again. So I had to switch the advice I got from Jose, the advice I got from Conchella, the advice I got from John Gray, because the run of Barbosa was almost similar to John Gray. Conchella was coming from behind. So when I could treat this top really runners, so I got the ideas of them, advice from each, but then I just mix it myself. To say I want to make it, to make my own, I need to get something for myself. So in the beginning, I started to run from behind, but I winning the races. But then when I became a world champion, so it comes now the time of breaking the record. So now I have to chase the time. And then for Conchella, he won the world championship twice. And I want to do it to be 3 times, which I did. So this again, I use this all the time. I say, so if Conchella win 2 times, I want to win 3 times to be better than Conchella. And so that was only the things I say, I took everything everyone tell me, and I took it for myself again, and then try to mix it, mold it, make it to my own way of doing it. So that's what I was saying about respecting other people and listening to people. The most important thing also is to listen. Don't ignore people you say we don't know anything. We can learn things through our life. We can learn day and night. So if someone says something, listen anyway. It's no harm. Just put it in the store. Maybe you need it one day. That's what someone said. So when Jose told me that, so I said, okay, one day I will do it. So I didn't leave that thing away. So it was there to see the way it was running. I come home and see the television. I see the features because that time I had an older person from Finland. He used to record all the film of all the athletes. This time when we with the video cassette.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I asked him one day, I said, so if you are for the first period, which I was not running, can you share those with me? And he gave me. So I had those videos sitting here sometimes alone and watching. So this, and it was really nice. So, and this third period, so I say, I'm saying to Jose, thank you, because, this, I didn't know him, and then it was also, that time I was still young, still a little bit shy, but he was saying, hey, kid, to do things, you have to do it this way. And that was the moment I learned to run 800 meters.
Wow, it's awesome because we can see that you are so humble to understand that many people can give you some tips, even if you are not using at the right moment, but you can use later or you can discard.
Yeah, you can stretch, like someone give you something, if you give me a tall, I want to make it to be 2 dollars. So right. That was the idea of listening, because for him, he has been running for many years, because I was looking that he has been in the Olympic. Oh, how many Olympic? 1, 2, 3. So that's for that person to be in those Olympic is not something which is telling me, just to test me to go out and run. He's telling me what he means. And that was really the moment I say, hey, yeah, I better to listen to anyone, because even John Gray, when he was telling me, okay, come to Santa Monica, we can train you. So that one I put a little bit no, but then about running, yes, I listened to that. So I took the good things, put it aside, and I use it in later, because always, you have to collect all the resources, all the information.
Right.
to make the right judgment. So it's always when you make decision, you have to analyze the bigger part before you just jump into conclusion. So.
Yes.
One thing too, one day I work in Denmark, I was running Denmark there. Matter of fact, I run a race, and I think it was 93, I don't remember yet, or 94, right before the World Championship in Gothenburg. And your coach talked with Luis. I remember that we were sitting down, your coach come to talk to my coach, and they are exchange idea, um, exchange knowledge, and because Luis, my coach, have me and Cruz have experience. In that time, he trained some athlete like Maria Mutola, and at that time too, and Abby Billy, and they were exchanging idea also. And he told Luis at that time, and Luis told him, because of your time you have in 400, how you train and how comfortable you run, Luis said that you get a good chance to break the world record too. Luis mentioned to our coach that I think you have someone special that can break the world record. I remember that we were sitting there. It was in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
After meet in Denmark, he was telling, Luis was telling to our coach, and they exchanged the idea of training and everything. And Luis at that time said that he got a chance. And I remember Luis even telling him, said, you know what? When he get the chance, ask him to pursue it until he got it. Because what happened is Cruz have the chance, but Cruz didn't want to pursue it. What Cruz did after Cologne, and he won 141.77, you have 3-4 meets. He thought like that, you know what? I'm going to rest, and next year I come back to break it, and he never have a chance. And I think see Cruz pursue it. That's my opinion. I'm saying that's right. But at that moment, if Cruz have the extra 4 meets, I believe he could break it, but it would hurt. However, he also said he was tired, so it's very hard to judge someone that situation because he knew how he was feeling. He was young, he was 21, he almost broke the world record. He won 141.77. And he said Luis wanted him go some meet in Hieti, other track meet, wanted Cruz to go to try to break Cole record. But Cruz said he was tired, and Luis always respect our opinion. Luis always respect our decision. He said what he's supposed to do, but however, we in the end have to take our own decision. Yeah, and Cruz said, no, I'm tired. I gotta go back to West. I remember I stayed the next 3-4 meets. And matter of fact, one of those meets, John Gray broke the American record at the time. John Gray broke the American record at that time, and running Hiet in the order track meet. So what Luis told your coach at that time like this, when he pursued the world record, you gotta tell him to stay on the tail of it. Enforce him to don't rest until he really break it. And I think you did that. You try until you break it. I said in 1995, you were the world champ. And at that time also, you were the best 800-meter runner in the world. Consequently, we're the favorite to win the gold medal in Atlanta. The question I have for you is that, do you think that the International Olympic Committee or whatever happened not allow you to participate at 1996 Olympic game in Atlanta took away your best chance to be Olympic champ?
I will put it anyway again, maybe in different ways, because it was more challenging again and more complicated. The thing is, I will not point the finger to IOC because I didn't know where this problem came from. Because when I look at it, so I would say one, USA, so they had a chance also for John Gray to win the event. The Norwegian, they had also a chance to win a gold medal. Kenya, they had also a chance to win a medal. Maybe Germany also, they had a chance to win a medal. So to make that decision, to say who made the decision not to allow me to run in Atlanta. So I think it's not one person. I think it was a collective ideas or collective of other people seeing the opportunity. Because if they have to discuss, I think it was not one person to make decision to say we say, yes, Wilson is going to run. They had to sit in the board meeting and to discuss, to analyze, to look at my case. If it was legitimate for me to run in Olympic. So that was a little bit more complicated to go in the political side.
Okay.
We understand.
So Kenya also could see the opportunity of someone from Kenya winning the Olympic, which if we eliminate Kipketer not there, so one problem is out. So there's more chances for the other people. Yeah. So US also to say, okay, if we eliminate Wilson, there's a chance for John Gray to be maybe in top 3. Maybe another country, they have someone who was running 800 also, they have a chance to have a medal if Wilson Kipketer is not there. So it was not really one side of saying, of course, Denmark could be the first one to say, okay, we give you the passport now, and you are off to Olympic. So that was really a tricky part. So I don't know really where the decision making that. So that's again, I say, the only thing I blame is me, because I made a decision not to go back to run for Kenya. Because I asked the IOC if I could run under IOC flag. He says, so you are not a refugee, you are not a politician who are run away from your country. You are in this situation, so they could not allow me to run in the IOC.
Okay.
So that was really a tricky part, but I said, so I had to make my decision again. So I had to choose it, and I don't want to blame anyone. That was my own decision. I lose it. The rules was like that in Denmark. You have to be in the country for 7 years before you get your citizenship. I wait for 7 years to get my citizenship in an honest way and be free.
Well, this is so interesting what you were saying, because when we opened this channel, Ronaldo Nehemiah told us what he had on a track and field. He battled for 4 years. He stayed at the Supreme Court to get the chance to come back to be on a track and field, because he became a professional football player and he was banished from track and field.
Yeah.
And right now, you were saying the same thing, that one day we've heard from the Cuban high jumper. He said, Javier Sotomayor, he said that maybe you are not saying correctly, but this political issue sometimes is always a shadow behind the scenes.
That's correct.
That's correct.
This
because
is
there's always things which I say we push things aside and we say that's the problem and maybe it is the cause, but that's not the cause, because there's the cake. You know, I mean, I'm saying Olympic is like the cake. We need to share, all of us. You know, it's like anyway in the family. You know, if you have 10 kids or maybe sisters and brothers and you want to share the cake, you know, always if someone is not at home, so that is a chance to get more cake.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
All right. You gotta.
So this in Olympic, so everyone want to be in Olympic, and then everyone is trying to look for an excuse to eliminate someone, even before you start the race. You know, so
even before you start.
Yeah. They can say you make false start. They can say your spike is not right. They can say your T-shirt is not in the correct way. You disqualify.
Okay. I'm going to give you an example. What happened to Ben Johnson is the same way. Political. The problem about Ben Johnson, it was because Ben Johnson, it was doing the drug, because we all know he's doing the drug. The problem by Ben Johnson have two problems. One, first of all, political arena, United States, Alan Cassell at that time want to be the president of the old in the International Athletic Federation, which is WA today. Because United States have Carl Lewis, Adam Moses, have all those great athletes. So in the political arena, that guy want to be the next president of the International Athletic Federation, which is World Athletic today. That's the issue. There's another issue as well. ABC paid a lot of money for the International Olympic Committee at that time to sponsor for 12 years and show on the TV the games. So they want to see America on the podium. And then they have another big issue because Carl Lewis at that time had the chance to do what Jesse Owens did in 1936 twice. He did it in 84, he could do it in 88. However, they have Ben Johnson in the middle of it. How are we going to get Ben Johnson out of it? Because Canada at that time didn't have no power in track and field. So it was easy to try to take him out, to ease up the path for, to ease up the path for anyone to make history, a big history, which was, in that case, was Carl Lewis. So there is a lot of issues in there. You know what I mean?
But
a lot of things.
That's a big case. But Joseph, I'm not disagreeing with you, but the thing is this: the people started water anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think they started from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone wants to sell an idea, so I have to show an idea. I have to show the system works.
Exactly. This is the point. You need to understand how the system works. If you understand how the system works, you will have the answer, but you cannot spread out, because if you do that, you implode all of the system.
So I remember, so my brother was my first agent. I do the running, he get the cash.
Okay.
And then if we say another word is sacrificing one to get other things.
Yes.
Anyway, so.
All right.
Okay, man.
But anyway, continue.
All right. You want to do a break?
No. Was a break of that discussion with the other. I say, when you want to sell something, you need to show evidence.
Yes.
This system works. So someone sold the system, and someone have to go home.
Yeah.
Because I show you the system work. So that was the moment which you say you keep a roof. We have something, we can sell it to you.
Right.
So someone was a sacrifice.
Yes.
Exactly.
For the sake of something else. You have to see where that thing starts from. Who started it? World Anti-Doping Agency.
Well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead. Number 14.
Well, Wilson, in Brazil, we don't have indoor track and field stadium yet. Consequently, we don't have the culture of indoor tournament. In 1997, you broke the indoor record twice. Could you tell us when you broke the indoor record, world record, in which we know that to run that fast indoor is very hard. The question is, broken the world record indoor made you believe that you were capable to break the Sebastian Coe outdoor world record?
Oh, I will take you back to 1996.
Okay.
When I missed the Olympic Atlanta.
Okay.
My goal, Mel, I didn't want to see any Olympian finalists in front of me. Any Olympian finalists in front of me.
Wow.
And I made that decision. End of 1996, I ran 1:41.83.
Mhm.
Damn. Damn.
So coming back to 1997, so I didn't want to go back to start from zero, to start from 143, 144.
Mhm.
So I want to continue from 141, which I was thinking to continue even indoors in 141, but I didn't make it. So start the season in March with 142.
Wow.
In that process, so thinking maybe in the end of 1997, I want to run 139.
139.
That's
It
what I
was
was
your-
looking for. That's what I was looking for.
that was your goal.
That was my goal. So this I had a plan
139.
after all this time. So this again making my mindset and making my goals, which didn't happen. And I was thinking if I don't do it in 97, I want to do it in 98. So everything was planned. But then in the end of 97, I went back to Kenya, came back from Kenya in January to Copenhagen, and I got malaria.
Mhm.
Boom. And I was really sick. So I had to spend almost 1 month in hospital. So I came out, it took me 3 months really to start jogging again. So all the plans I had before so disappear. I have to start from zero. So really, so that's I had a big plan, if I have to say so. It was really a long-term project I was moving to. But then it didn't happen that way. But then so again, you need to attack the situation, try to move in again. So coming back, missing anyway my 139. So in 1998, I was in the European Championship. Of course, I made it all the way to final. But then in final, I was pushed a little bit by another athlete, which was not disqualified. So from running 141 and finishing the European Championship number 8, running 151. So from 141
Wow.
to 151.
151. 10 seconds is lower.
Number 8 in Europe. I was the athlete of the year in 97, sportsman of the year in 97, and then number 8 in Europe. 151. Yeah. So that's another big story. So from that moment, so I stopped in that after European Championship final. And I say I'm not going to run any competition in that year. I go back home. I say I need to think. I need to get back. So I went out. Even my coach was upset. You say you could run and make some money. My manager say you could make some money. I say it's not about the money. You know, it's about my life. So I lived the season from I think was end of July. So I lived the whole season of 98. I didn't even want to train, just went for holiday, relax, be with my family. I came back 99, again, boom, World Championship. I won the World Championship. And then in Sydney in 2000, I had a little bit problem with my leg because I could not train as I used to. I got silver. So, and again, so that's, you know, I think I got almost 6 medals at the time.
You think in Sydney, you think the infection of malaria.
Not
it
really. I
has
think
something
there was
done
other
in
things.
Sydney or
There
not?
was other things, and then I think also is after malaria. So when I too had training, so I need some at least 1 week to recover. But then in Olympic, so we had qualification, and then and then semis, and then the day after is final. So it was almost 3 runs in a week, which I could not recover enough to get there. So that's what happened.
Oh,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
sometimes when you are outside of it, it's easy to understand that there is a possibility that your malaria infection affected your Olympic Games, but you're saying there's one big scenario behind this.
There's big scenario behind it because when I was not training 100%,
yes,
so I could say so. Even you could see in the eyes of the coach, he's a little bit doubting what I'm doing. You know, so if you lose that trust, you could see also if you listen to the news or wherever. So it's not the same because it's not the same feeling. And in that period also, my ambitions maybe was not in that. I was not strong to motivate myself to focus in what I was focusing from the beginning. Because I have also this thing, okay, I had malaria, I had this. So this kind of excuses comes. And then looking maybe the federation also, they are not 100% in that because in that period, so many doctors say Wilson will never come back to run. You know, so many people say so. That's the end of it. After malaria, ciao, Wilson. You are finito. Go home. But this again to get that motivation to keep moving.
Yeah.
And then missing Atlanta, which was also, you know, my motivation building up for many years. So you know, every year is like so you are losing. You are losing.
I know what that is.
Yeah,
I know
so
what that is, or how hard it is. You know, at least you did the best you could. You get the medals. I missed the medals. The hard part about that because I have my great chance in the '88 and I did a mistake and I paid the price and that happened. And then in the '92, I had an injury, so I wasn't my best either like you. I was injured and then it didn't work out. It's some things happening. It's a part of the game. You got to move on, like you said.
But, so that was really a kind of there's many things behind it because even planning about the training. So maybe my coach says, so it's not the right time. You know, you are not strong enough. So was that kind of finding the balance, and then things happen, and then it's too late.
Wow.
And then so I say, okay, from Sydney, I have to continue again to Athens.
Wilson, could you tell us who were your greatest motivator to be the athlete that you still are until today? Who was the greatest motivator for you to become the athlete you?
I think that was in a way my ambitions, trying to make the history. Because again, I say so. You know, I want to be the best 800-meter runner in the world. As to be, because if I have to be the best, I have to beat Bill Congela 3 times world champion. If I have to be the best, I have to break Sebastian's world record. If I have to be the best, I have to make my own record indoors to break Foley Rang's record. So was that kind of like looking the history of the time and looking back, Sebastian's record was 1981. And if I say so, if you could run in 81 those times, which the track was not that well developed, the spikes was not that well developed. So my motivation was seeing the situation and seeing the moment. If they could do it in that period, so why cannot we do it the best in this period then? So I had that kind of like, so I had to push myself to a certain level because I see, so if someone is not doing it, so who is going to do it? So I have to push myself day and night and to say this was my job. I have to fulfill my job. I have to wake up every morning. And then I had some people which was sacrificing their life to support me, my family, because they don't see me. I'm in a training camp. I'm in somewhere in a high altitude training. I'm in US training. I'm traveling to competition. So it was like something I had to show these people. I was really in a mission. It's not just in a training camp or just enjoying myself in Portugal, lying on the beach. And I have to show the results, what I've been doing. So this is what I've been doing all the time. And I want to show them this, what I've been doing. So they have to trust me in their side to say, okay, you know you are serious in what you are doing. So I can building the trust. And that was have to come from my own of motivating myself day and night, waking up in the morning, training 2 times a day, sleeping in the daytime, out again training in the afternoon. So if there's nothing to motivate you in that way, so I mean, it's easy to give up. So this was I need to have the fire inside me, which is burning. I need to keep going. I need to be the best.
Wilson, you said us to the reason that you decided to go to Denmark to the exchange student program. We would like to know, why did you choose to course electrical engineering?
No. I think in that case, I think I use electronic in a way, or engineering is sometimes interesting. You have to fix things. You have to connect things.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the things is more practical. There's no more theory.
Okay.
So for me, theory sometimes is like, so you have to imagine things, but in engineering, you need to develop things. You need to get the things when you say you are not using any force, but you're getting things fitting together. But that was my way of thinking also, to say, okay, if I have to connect the things I'm doing, so it's more practical when I go out training. It's not about theory. And this also taking in that part, I was thinking going back with engineering or civil engineer could be something which I could use I would say, in my own country, when things is going to be more developed, and then also coming to Denmark, which was things was at the times. So I think so engineering was something which was good for me. Of course, when I start running again, so I had to choose if I have to continue with finishing my studies, or I pursue 100% running, which again I think I decided to take running because I know it was going to be maybe for 5 years or 10 years. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I say, if something happened, I have to go back to my studies. But then finishing running, and I see things didn't go the way I want. I didn't want to go back to class to finish my engineering. So I start now going back to sports marketing instead. Yes. This while I've been there for a long period, and I know what is needed for the athletes, what I can do with athletes, how I can communicate with the place I've been for many years. So it was easier for me to go that side. So engineering was something, when I was growing up, so my thought is like, it's still up to now, at the age of 97, is still talking about having the courage, or is an engineer. So you see, so I had that thing in my mind of my father talking about engineering. When I was working up, he have a lot of things in the house, and he says, so I'm an engineer. Of course, he was not an engineer, but he had in his mind thinking to have a courage one day to be a mechanic or to be an engineer.
Oh,
So
this is interesting, because even not being engineering or being engineering, you know how important is the education. And can you tell us and to our audience how important the education is for you and many other athletes from Kenya or in the world? Because in the world, everybody needs education.
I think, to put it anyway in a simple terms, the way I understood myself. So education, I would say, so it could be education of looking really to say, so I want to have a degree, I want to have a diploma, I have to have these things. But then education could be something in a way of building yourself to make you understand things. And for that saying understanding, so it's not only making a connection of other things which is binding in their life to be a better person. Education also means that so you can read a contract and understand, and you can read a newspaper and you know what people need. So it's to understand other people also, what is really needed in the world at this moment, when now we have like a social media. How can we use the resources we have? So that's one part of education. So there's one part of education, the other one. So people say, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a professor, I want to be a pilot. But then the basic education is really getting that knowledge of understanding how things, the movement of the daily life, the finding of everyday's life, to navigate the jungle of where we are now. I mean, if it's in the forest, if it's in the city, if it's in the gym, if it's in the stadium. So it's to get that education of knowing the rules, the respect of what you are doing, so they have the rules. Even if you are playing football, there's rules. If you are running, there's rules. If you have to be a carpenter, there's rules, how to move the things. So that's, I would say, the knowledge of education could open that doors to see many things, not to see education as one way of making life. It's education of making to understand how to live, how to move on.
Wow.
Wow, it's awesome.
Fantastic. Well
Fantastic.
explained.
You gave our claps.
That I will explain. Wilson, can you tell us what it is the champion for peace, and what can we do to make something together in Brazil? Because I look to the site and I see that. I want to know more. We here want to know more. What is the champion for peace, and what can you do to make something together in Brazil if possible?
Okay. This again, when I was still running, so I live in Monaco, and Champion for Peace was started with a friend of Prince Albert in Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me, so Wilson, do you want to be a member of Champion for Peace? And I said, what is Champion for Peace in a way? But then after many years of being part of this event, so Champion for Peace is a non-profit organization based in Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
The patron so is Prince Albert.
Mm-hmm.
So this is organizing like charity events, also holding the forum for discussion how to tackle I would say the problems of to help the kids, where the problem is like when the earthquake started in Haiti in which year was that? I can't remember. But this where we can say make a simple adaptation of practice. The kids can still do the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And use the sport as a tool of bringing peace or bringing people together. So sometimes, like in Pakistan, India, they play like ping pong. So in the other side, so this kind of to bring peace to this region through sport. They do this in Burundi also because of the region of Rwanda-Burundi problem. So they have what they call friendship games. So where the kids from different communities, they can come and play to show that sports really can unite people and really reconcile with the community for people to come together again.
All right.
And also, what Vision Sport 2 is helping the kids, which is not really, they could not get a chance to do the sports. So in the streets, wherever, so they bring them to do boxing, karate, or basketball, judo. Mm-hmm. So this again to bring them bring them to come back to the society, to be part of the community, instead of isolating themselves and be criminals. And so it's kind of trying to open the doors for everyone. You can change your life in that period. But I think for you, if you say you want to join it, so this I can check your foundation in Brazil, send it into them, and then I think so they will contact you, because if you are doing something already, so this could be something also could be good for peace and sport. It's interesting to. I think once we did with a tennis player, Gustavo Kuerten.
Curtin. Gustavo Curtin.
Yes, yeah. So he's one of them. I don't know if he became a member, but then I think we sent something for his tennis academy in Brazil.
Well, let me ask you one more question about this. We created this channel just to provide information, helping the people to see different positions of the world, how to treat the things, especially the sports, including the basics of the sports, that is track and field. And how can we unite together, even if Curtin is doing something, how can we be in touch with him, or how can we create something for the track and field as well as a channel, because we are spreading out all of the information that is necessary for the country to develop, and including we can develop as well as a population to the world, a peaceful population in the world.
I think this could be, I'll say so, I will follow up with this and forward a little bit information to the administration in Monaco.
Right.
Because now, yeah, I left Monaco 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. So I moved back to Copenhagen with my family. So, but I still go there, but now with Corona, so it's not easy to travel a lot. So I haven't been traveling for almost 1.5 years to Monaco. But I will send them the message or give an information also for your channel or your organization, and then this could be also something which is a platform of communicating the things we do and the things you do. So this could be something I think would be win-win situation for peace and sport and for your channel.
Okay.
Will be fantastic. We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Wilson, Kipketer. Unfortunately, we must go. Everything is just good. It's short same time. It was a pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much. But before we go, Wilson, Kipketer, could you give us your final thoughts, please? To us,
Jose,
our audience, your final thoughts.
Jose, to say it anyway, I mean, the journey of our sport, I mean, it's not only what we did as sport, it's a friendship came from there. Because today we are talking, we didn't spend time when we were running, but I think this is the moment we can share our experience, our stories, because even me, I don't know your story. I love to hear your story, how you managed to move from Brazil to US and all this. And I think from now onwards, so we can say, we could share this experience, because what you told me in those periods, maybe it was only one word, but I still remember when you say, so if you want to win, Wilson, the only way to go, you have to be in front. So that was the courage. You say, so don't be afraid. So for me, I'd say today, I'm not afraid, because I've known you for many years. When you reach out, I say, so yeah, I'm here. So I think for me is that the sports or what athletic have gave us is really to share with other people. If there is a way we can do it, to keep it the knowledge we have to share with the young generation, I think this we can pass it on. So for me, it's an honor to talk to you again after many years, because I don't know how many years we haven't been talking anyway, and then all of a sudden, with the new technology we have now, or technology is there, the resources, Jose. And I'm really happy to see what you are doing now to keep the message to the other people in Brazil. So that's really, I would say, we keep moving, we keep helping, we keep teaching, we keep sharing the experience.
Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Share the experience for you and share the experience with you. And I'm thank you very much for coming here to kindly accept our invitation, to kindly and patiently stay here, answer the question, and educating people and informing people. Okay, we at AES Sport Legacy Channel appreciate the care and the participation of all our viewers. We want to thank you uh, for accepting this invitation and come to participate with us in the Vivência Sport program, Wilson. We would like to thank also our support, TBF Consultoria, VMAX Supplement, the cultural support of Casa 123, IP Afro, and CBO channel that broadcasts our program to Oceania, Asia, Eastern Europe, part of Africa continent, part of Western Europe, and the Caribbean. Always with the goal to inform, debate, encourage, entertain, educating, the Vivência, the sports program. Wish everyone an excellent night and a week full of achievement and good reflection on everything that was presented tonight here in our program. But don't be sad. Next Monday, we'll be here with another great guest. Please subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, give the like, that is very important to us, and follow us on the social media. Good night. See you next Monday. And Wilson Kipketer, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.